Why did he want it?
He said that he peed on the bottle and then he threw it out and then he went back to pick it up again.
Oh my god, fine.
That's
Dan Riker's father, Paul Riker, peed in a Lysol can, threw it away, then decided he needed it for experiments, so went back and dove in the dumpster to get it.
Okay, hang on.
Yes.
Maybe I'm the idiot
like
here. I thought Lysol cans were one way.
Right, you're thinking of the Lysol aerosol spray. We had to explain this to Mike earlier. Lysol wipes, a bucket.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay,
so yeah, maybe you are the idiot. Yeah.
I guess.
Well, that's without a question. Yes, I am an idiot. This is still weird.
Well, I mean, honestly, having listened to that sentence right there, I think we all are definitely stupider than we were before.
Oh, easily. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, everybody. I think we're about ready to start. Let's test the music. You guys probably will hear this. That's the noise canceling's on. Let's check it.
So the traveler tried to run away, and then the witness showed up.
No, don't ruin the
podcast. The whole thing, and the fleet, the dark fleet, and then the witness is like,
Christian,
I need to find the bed.
Oh, this is so good. All I read online is people hating the expansion. That's all I see online.
No, Christian's bad at it too now, I think.
Oh, good. Now everyone hates it.
He just went away. He just left. He's not here anymore. That rules. He's got so mad. He quit.
I was about to ask, why is it so quiet in here?
Okay. Sean, after the ad break, we'll have you pop on and help with the quiz. And you have it so you can stream it through Discord and stuff.
Right.
That should be fine. Okay. Cool, man. Thanks. All right. Mike, are you ready to start?
I am 1,000,000% ready, which is so much higher than 100. It doesn't even make sense.
I'm down with that. Can
you dig it, sucker?
Okay, I am gonna bring us in. Let's bring up the camera. There's that. All right, let's count it in and go with the music.
Get out of here, Christian.
Like, I need to go to Neptune to find the bell, and then we follow.
Yeah, we all know.
Do you think he was talking that entire time and didn't realize he wasn't in the room anymore? I hope so. In 5, 4, 3.
I don't think they can hear the music, Chef. They can't hear it.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Music.
There.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game S Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb. With me is...
Like Minotti!
In today's episode, Final Fantasy XVI previews are out. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. There's been plenty of fallout, plenty of controversy, and we're going to get into all that for you on tonight's show. First, I want to know, Mike, how are you doing?
I'm great. I was out with some friends. There was trivia. There was maybe beers. And now that I'm here and I'm ready to talk about the video games, we have a lot of fun stuff going on tonight, I think.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about like what's been happening this week in video games, of course. Then after the break, we will hop in, and I think first we're going to do a little game created by Benji Bop. It's going to be a Metacritic retro throwback. So if you have knowledge, it's actually going to benefit you. I have no idea. I have no idea what this is. We do know the first game, Super Mario 64. I have not looked it up, although I feel like I have a pretty good idea what that game got on Metacritic, but we'll see.
Yeah, oh my God, Xbox Killer is here too. This is the best night ever.
Yes, let's go. Oh man, I'm in a good mood. I was in a bad mood. No, I'm in a good mood. Thank you so much, Xbox Murder.
The guy named Xbot Murder.
The Xbot Murder. That's the reboot.
Pretend that he's also not the same person. I'm just gonna die.
And then we're going to do a draft of our own consoles from the 32 and 64-bit generation.
For specifically Sega Saturn, PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64.
And the
Let's go.
3DO. Mike.
I had a 3DO. You're not ready.
Mike, for that, you went first last week. Does that mean I just go first this week?
No, Jeff. I don't know if you watch sports. The losing team gets first draft.
I thought you might try something like that. Okay, yeah. Well, okay, that's fair. But I want to point out that it did not give you an advantage last time. So
no, it didn't. So, yeah, why do you care?
You're right. Good point. Good point. I'm really looking forward to this. Of course, if you are we'll get a little intro in a second, but if you want to vote on which one you think is best for the one that actually decides it, you got to be in the Discord. Podcast producers, you can vote in there. All right, let's get into this show. Before we do so, you can get more from Mike and me by joining that Discord at gamemess.net. If you want to ask a question, you could drop a super chat during the show on YouTube, just like the Xbox murder has done. Thank you to Carlos Ain, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. He dropped a new track released this week.
He's back?
I wouldn't. Let's not say he's back. Let's not put that pressure on him. But he dropped a new track.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't
He's
call
been
it.
here for years.
That's right. We are on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and wherever pods are caught. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening. It helps people find the show. Hit that thumbs up right now on YouTube. Right? Let's get it going.
Hit the thumbs up. Yes, Jeff, did you tweet? I know I forgot to tell you to.
I'll do it here in a second. Thank you to the mods. Support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to the private channels in our Discord, including the Podcast Producers channel, the monthly Q&A, which I need to do this weekend, 1 month early access to our Jeopardy game, which we will get that put up here soon for Podcast Producers. We recorded that last week. Participation in our monthly game club discussion, and of course, all of our shows ad-free. All right, let's...
All right, listen, Xbot Killer. You know we answer all the super chats together at a time. Like this new thing that you do where you send a super chat and then immediately are like, you're ducking me. You know we answer them after like the break. You know this. You've been here long enough. Don't just make things up now. Come on, man. Also, and I have a second grievance, Jeff, if you're ready for that.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Yeah, okay. So like last time when I lost the draft thing, people were like, Mike only picked boomer games. They were all from the same exact time period. They are literally all Super Nintendo and Genesis games. I don't know what it means that I only picked boomer game. Like, what could that mean? What are you talking about?
I'm glad you're still reeling from this. Oh man, this is the
furious
best.
about it because someone just said Mike's gonna pick boomer games again. To be clear, I'm gonna pick games for the same exact time period as Jeff. That is the rule. That's
how it works.
Games.
Like that's the whole thing.
People are saying boomer is more of a vibe. Rocket Knight Adventure, apparently. Giant boomer vibes.
Oh god, I'm just never gonna get over her ruining you. With Rachel ruining you. Okay.
Boomer is a state of mind. That Georgia boomer state of mind.
All right.
Oh my God. Just say you don't like the Sega Genesis, people. Just tell me that. I know that's what it is.
We know it's true. Everyone knows it. Like, it's time someone just said it.
Just tell me already.
Okay. It's going, I don't know. It's going pretty good. I got some big topics we could talk about. Should we just hop into it?
Please.
Let's hit this first one. Elden Ring is getting DLC. Big shocker. No one knew this was coming. Well, of course we knew it was coming, but it's like, they announced it at 3 a.m. overnight. The word now is that it will come after Armored Core 6 hits in September/October. That's what I've heard about Armored Core 6 launching now. I had previously heard that it was not going to make this year, which is why I counterpicked it in our draft, but now it sounds like it's definitely coming out this year, and it's like almost supposed to come out in September, and it's very unlikely to even slip into October. All that sounds right. Whether or not Elden Ring DLC comes out after that seems to be the case, but I can't confirm that. But wait until later this year to get Elden Ring DLC. That's fine. I'll wait for it. I'm glad they said it was coming though. How about you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially since Penny's serious. Especially since it sounds like it is going to be like on a new separate area. It's going to have its own map. And obviously it's going to deal with what Mikola, is that his name? Millennia's brother.
Yeah, Mikola. Yeah, listen, I'm the last person on earth that's going to be able to pronounce the name.
He was kind of like the one intriguing plot point that didn't really conclude in the base game. I think if everyone had to guess what this would be about, they would guess him. That was an awesome game. I love Elden Ring. I'm super happy to have an excuse to go back.
Yes, me too. They usually get these out like in this time frame a year later. Elden Ring, such a big game. Apparently, this is a new map. Has that been confirmed? I know people said that on Tuesday.
I don't know if it's confirmed, but I also just heard that and am choosing to believe it. I think that is how these DLCs work, though, is you go to new areas for FromSoft games. I mean, I don't know what else you would do. You can't just like throw content on top of that new old map as big as it is, I suppose. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's so it's like so dense already, right? That's why you wouldn't be able to do it. For some reason, I'm like, you probably could do that, but it's so dense. Like there's something every 10 feet in that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess a new map makes sense. Final Fantasy XVI previews came out. We talked about this on Tuesday. You had a preview. You want to just recap that real quick for the Game Esticides audience, and then we'll kind of talk about what's happened since then.
Well, yeah, what happened since then is you started tweeting.
Well, listen.
I mean, I was at the preview event. They were at multiple places, but they were in New York, and I went to New York. I played 3 hours of Final Fantasy XVI. I was really enjoying it. It is very much an action game, first and foremost, with RPG elements.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out what it reminded me of, and I wanted to be like, this reminds me of Devil May Cry, because the combat director is the Devil May Cry guy. But the whole time I was playing it, I was like, there's something that this is reminding me of more than that. And it was when I was talking to the team, including, Yoshida, the producer, where I asked him about how is like, side missions and how is this kind of like the story structure going to work. And he was like, it's going to work like God of War, basically. But then he elaborated, but he was the one who said the words God of War. Then the light bulb went off, because there's a lot of God of War in this game, just in terms of kind of a lot of the ways the battle system works. You have these different stances with cooldown abilities, so you're kind of dancing between them, just like Kratos with his different weapons. You can command your dog Torgal to do certain things, like you can with Atreus. Now, of course, it's not. I'm not saying it's some kind of God of War clone. I don't think, at least I didn't see my demo, and I doubt there will be environmental puzzles or anything like that. But there's a lot of God of War DNA there, and this kind of just drove some people crazy, of course. But yeah, then the other thing is that there's been a discourse about JRPGs. What does this term mean? Is it a useful term? Is it a derogatory term?
That's what he said in one interview. So when they first started hearing about it 15 years ago, that it was derogatory, and I'm like, hey, it wasn't meant that way. That's what I started tweeting. Like, it definitely wasn't meant that way when I first started hearing it, long before the 2008, 2009 period that it seems to be in the context in here. And boy, there's a lot of people out there that want to gaslight me and be like, no, it's basically a slur. Well, no, it's not. No, it just isn't. That's just silly. But that said, the guy doesn't want me to call his game's JRPG. It's the easiest thing in the world to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I won't do that. That's fine. I can totally respect your desires to have your things classified in the way you want. Yeah. That works for me. The game's not a JRPG, so it's even easier. Like, it's just, it's like super easy to not do that. But it's just weird how people are holding this grudge from something like that I thought was relatively minor at the time. Like, yeah, a couple of people that worked for a couple of big websites said Japanese in a way that made people feel like, oh, these guys are hateful. And I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe. I wasn't paying much attention to them. I was listening to other people at the time. But people have carried that grudge this entire time, and now it's flaring back up. All right, yeah, you can be mad at those people. That's fine. That's not what JRPG was. We classify things in ways that feel that are useful to us when we're trying to have a conversation. And I think I don't know. It is just tough, because especially when it comes like, okay, yeah, he felt like it was derogatory, and then this conversation, and it's my fault. It's burying the other conversation about, the representation in this game. A couple of people asked him about this, and he's once again said fantasy to me means no blacks. And it's like, okay, all right, cool.
Medieval fantasy, right?
Yeah, but it's like, oh, okay.
And it's also weird because one of the giant city states, and there's like multiple of them, is very clearly like a kind of like Northern African or kind of one of like a Red Sea, basically like that Final Fantasy XII Dalmascan vibe. Which, like, yes, like, if to be clear, the equivalent of this, the real world, would have had brown and black people in it.
Yes, right, exactly, that proximity. But that conversation is going to keep happening. People are going to keep asking that question, and that's where the energy probably should go going forward. But hey, this game's not a JRPG, no problem. we can move on from that.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of baggage here from that one period of time when JRPGs were getting out of fashion, when like Final Fantasy 13 disappointed people, and there was a really bad Star Ocean, and basically the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era, which was right when Western game development was really taking over. And
it's not a newsflash that like Japanese developers struggled a little bit to go in the HD when the switch to HD. They said that. They've admitted this. Kinji Inafune said that. Shinji Mikami said that. This is not some new thing. It's just it got turned into a culture war at the time, and that has carried over. So yeah, it's like, again, I get that people have their anxieties around the things that they love, but man, my quote retweets is almost entirely GamerGators freaking out about this, and it's like, okay, it's not. I'm not going to do guilt by association, but I'm going to do fuck off by association. Actually, fuck off with any of this stuff. I don't. If you're standing next to all the like literally thousands of weirdos yelling about this stuff for 15 years now, fuck off. That's kind of where I'm at with it. But
Jeff, it's so weird how the previews for this game, it seems like we're almost all universally pretty positive.
Yes, and everyone who played it liked it. Everyone.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things. Now, to be clear, the thing about the representation is actually, that's important. And even this, the JRPG conversation can be important and worth having, but of course it just gets insane. It gets intense. And
it's, I mean, this is something that we've been through before, which is why it's both exhausting and recognizable, and we can kind of put it in its little box for what it is. It is just those anxieties of fandom where they just need to play the game, and once they're playing the game, most people will be satisfied. If there's a weird thing afterwards where it's like they censored the vagina bones, the culture war will flare up in a different way afterwards, and then they'll be mad at the game developers instead of us. But they're going to be
vagina bones. Look at my Sega calendar; it's now in this Phantasy Star thing with pretty prominent one. Like she has the cami suit on. It's very leggy.
Yes, and so if we'll see if that happens. But if the game is as good as everyone says it is, most people are just gonna
me throwing that one out at Jeff, just be like, that's nice, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do, Mike? What do you want me to say?
On my pervy
her vagina bones are poggers. Are you happy?
Thank you. Yes, please. Thank you very
much.
I
mean, they are.
They're pretty poggers. Just like Rouge's boobs.
Just like Rouge's boobs. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna have to play this game too. I want to see it for myself at this point.
Right. I mean, it's just weird. The things that it becomes like the talking points. It's like God of War. Now I'm mad. It has 11 hours of cutscenes, which is such an incredibly normal amount ratio for story content in an RPG. So yeah, I think the game's just going to have to come out, and we can all play it, and we can see how we feel about it.
Yeah. At the very least, it does seem primed to have a big, successful launch with all this sort of fervor built up.
Sure. Yeah, here's my question, though. So, Yoshi P is saying, one reason why I'm making it action, because, series sales have been falling off. Not as many people play as they used to. Square Enix said that Final Fantasy 15 was the best-selling Final Fantasy, and it sold 10 million copies, blah, blah, blah. Now, I always thought that was a weird number. Do you think Square Enix lied?
Which game is this? Which entry did this?
15. 15 is the one they said sold 10 million copies and is the best-selling Final Fantasy. And now Yoshi P saying people don't play it as much as they used to, so that's why we're really leaning into the action. Like, well, which thing is true here?
Right. I think that they probably
lied. You can't lie in sales reports, I guess, but like there must be something.
Fudge it, right? Creative, yeah. It's probably. I don't know. Did they? What time period do they get for that? Did they say that over like the first year or something, or probably not?
It was pretty early on when they were like, I remember writing the story like best-selling Final Fantasy. Oh, okay, and it's weird because, and I know that it's on more platforms than Final Fantasy VII Remake, but we talk about this. Final Fantasy VII Remake sold like 5 million,
and it's that's a universally praised game, and
universally praised, definitely better received than 15 and all this other things. Now, people in chat are saying that 15 apparently is very popular in Japan.
That makes some sense. Okay. All right.
But still, it doesn't jive with this talking point that like, well, we're really leaning into action because the series is on the decline. It doesn't really feel like a series on the decline necessarily. So I don't know.
I personally do think Final Fantasy VII Remakes shook them. I think it shook them the way that it was the way it was always built up as this was going to be the biggest thing ever when it comes out. That's why we are willing to do this huge, massive remake that has all this stuff. And then it comes out, and sure, it's part one, and I think that's one of the big things why it sort of gets held back in terms of sales, but whatever the reason, 5 million in that first year, it's a number that looks like kind of soft, and I think they really I think it scared them. So I think in that, obviously that game has its really good action-based combat for the most part. But I still think they're like, people still associate, they still think it's Final Fantasy VII. We need to be looking at the other games on PlayStation that are selling 10 to 20 million copies.
Like God of War.
Like God of War. I mean, yeah. Also, it just sounds like the dude likes God of War. He likes the originals. He likes this one. And
some of you got Cory Balrog involved in this, which I thought was impressive.
Yeah,
so
that was fun. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
like with some domino. I saw like the little dominoes of the big domino. Me thinking that this is like God of War, and all of a sudden Cory Balrog's in tweets.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's funny to him because it's true. Where I'm sure he like plays a game and gets a million ideas and brings it to his team, and it's like, of course, that's just how everything works.
How it always works.
And I bet a lot of times he hears fans like, "Where do you come up with your ideas?" He's like, he probably says, "I play video games, or I read books." I watch Game of Thrones like everyone else. Like that's where I get ideas from. Yeah. Final Fantasy XVI coming out in May. We will be dealing with this for June. Jesus, right? June,
sir. It's because June is that Diablo 4.
Right. What's the end of May? That's not
May. Is Tears of the Kingdom.
I knew that Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm thinking of Suicide Squad, which I don't mean to associate this game with Suicide Squad.
We're always thinking about
exactly. Who's not right? Everyone. Who amongst us?
Who amongst us isn't thinking about Suicide Squad?
The FTC judge grants Microsoft's request for documents from Sony. This is one of the other big stories. Mostly that this has begun to maybe bite back at Sony a little bit. Now, of course, the Xbox murder should be freaking out right about now that we're not talking about, Microsoft's going to sell off Xbox, but that was just a non-story.
That was a weird story.
But the FTC basically said to Sony, all this stuff that Microsoft's asking for, pretty much you have to give it all over, and it's things like all the agreements you've made to have console exclusives on the PlayStation going back to 2019. The only thing that Sony doesn't have to give over really is performance reviews for Jim Ryan and other executive leadership at PlayStation. But their emails related to any of this stuff, any sort of documentation they filed, all that stuff's going to have to be handed over. And the judge said, hey, like the scope is going to be pretty wide because Microsoft was saying, hey, we can agree to a limited scope, and then you wouldn't sit down with Microsoft. So because you guys didn't agree beforehand, it's going to have to be this wide. And say, oh my God, Sony won't even sit down at that table. That's how far away they are from making any deals or any concessions, going back towards Microsoft. And it's kind of biting them a little bit. We will probably not see any sort of real, we'll get some stuff, but it's going to be mostly redacted information. But any sort of of the thinking behind what Sony is thinking when they make these big moves might be pretty illuminating. For the most part, you think, the logic follows. You get exclusives, people buy your system. But if there's any sort of numbers put to that thinking, it could be really interesting. But I don't know. Do you expect to get any of that?
No, I'm hoping that they're going to be able to tell me what's going on with Astrobot, right? They're going to get into the documents. They can let me know why the heck we haven't gotten that remade or gotten a sequel. I don't know. This whole thing is weird. It's feeling like this is swinging back in Microsoft's favor again. It feels like they're kind of performative deals with Nintendo and with Nvidia are kind of working. Sony's sort of losing the little legging that they had here, and it's just I don't know. I don't know at what point they retreat. Are they really just in it all the way now?
Yeah.
It seems like they might be, but it seems questionable.
Yeah, I don't think that there's still much chance of Sony retreating. I think Sony sees this as they can go as far as they want because in the end, if they lose all this stuff, the deal is still going to be on the table because they know that Microsoft's telling the truth about wanting to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation because there's a lot of money to be made. And so, they are just going to keep going and take this. And then if it goes in their favor, well, then they should win big. It's a gamble. They should win big. And if it doesn't go in their favor, they have this built-in hedging, which is Microsoft's going to want to make a deal with them anyhow because they want Call of Duty on PlayStation 5. So with that positioning, I think Sony's going to kind of keep this obstinate tone going forward. And strategically, Jim Ryan staked out a pretty good position for himself. He looks pretty absurd, and maybe that arrogance will rub off on Sony in a bad way. But we've been saying that for years, and it hasn't really affected things because they keep putting out really good games. And so that's sort of the cure to any of these ails. And if they have that big PlayStation showcase in a couple of months, and Spider-Man 2 looks amazing, and people get excited about factions, and they bring back a SOCOM or whatever, no idea if they will, but just like as an example, people are not going to be worried about like what Jim Ryan's doing in court. So
sure, no matter what, they get to release Spider-Man 2 this year, no matter what. So
I don't think Sony's retreating. We're probably going to see this through to the end. Finally, Respawn wants to make a Jedi Saga trilogy. They're working on the second game right now. It's about to launch here pretty soon, in about 2 months. Director Stig Asmussen said as much that they would really like to make Cal Kestis into a trilogy. I like that's him saying it. I'll say that Respawn also wants that to happen. It comes down to how this game performs mostly, but generally it's accepted at Respawn that as long as things go as expected, they will begin working on a third game right away. Basically, that is the next game for that team at Respawn. So expect another Star Wars game, being the.
I just hope that they wrap up this trilogy as well as they wrapped up the last movie trilogy, because everybody was really happy with that.
Yes, one can only hope, right? I mean, God, just an experts of their craft. Really, it's got to be daunting to even try to match Rise of the Skywalker, whatever.
What's funny is that the third game would probably come out. Well, you think it'll come out for this console generation even? Would it be a PlayStation 6 game?
The last one came out in 2019, right?
That sounds right. I went to a Disneyland preview. So before,
so we're talking
that was when I got
4-ish
wasted
years.
in the Star Wars bar and threw up later that
I think
night.
it might be at the very end of this generation. The very end.
Very end. Okay, cross-generation.
Probably cross-generational. Yes.
Okay.
All right, Mike. Let's take a quick break, and when we get back...
Wait! Metroid Fusion!
Metroid Fusion was announced. That's coming March 9th, right? Is that what they said? I didn't get the
March
exact
9th
date.
to NSO. So this is the first one of those. Now, it's a little weird because it sounds like we are just getting this one game like for coming out by itself on NSO. But still, it is the most exciting one that we knew was coming. It's Metroid Fusion, March 9th. Here's my question for you, Jeff.
Yes.
Because right now, there's no way to unlock the Metroid Fusion suit inside of Metroid Prime Remastered, which was a thing you could do in the original game. If you had a Game Boy Advance link cable and you had Metroid Fusion and you had Metroid Prime on the GameCube, do you think there's any chance that like beating Metroid Fusion or doing something in Metroid Fusion on NSO will unlock that suit in Metroid Prime Remastered? These two things are so closely aligned. They've had to think about that and try to do something neat like that, right? Come on.
I want to believe.
Please.
I want to believe, Mike. I'm right there with you.
It'd be so cool.
It would be so cool.
But like, also, I don't know why you wouldn't like put a little effort to just put the Metroid Dread suit in there or something neat. Although maybe that's going to be something for 4. I don't know. I really want it.
I really wanted
they would have
to
announced it. I don't think they would have. They might not have.
Yeah, Mike, probably not. But I really want them to have.
I really want them to.
Yeah, me too. I mean, hey, but everyone should play the game regardless. Just play it. It's really good.
It's a good game, and it's a short game. It's so it's easy to play in a little bit.
Especially if you've played Dread, if you've already played Super Metroid. Fusion is a change of pace in terms of like the structure, but it's still really good. If you play like Metroid Fusion, like in a vacuum, I think it's better in conversation with the rest of the Metroid series because it's very much sort of shunting you in certain directions, and that can feel weird for a Metroid game or for a Metroidvania game. But it actually works when you're playing it, and it's just a ton of fun. It's a really good game.
Super good. I've been playing Metroid 2 because it's on Game Boy. It's like the one I played the least of, and I'm always like, well, that's like the game. I was basically Dan Reichert about that's the Game Boy one. That's also actually still a lot of fun. Metroid's just a good series, man.
Yes, I like all those games. They're very good. Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get into our decisions to be made this week.
I'm gonna party.
Okay,
Do
the potty. Do the potty break.
I am gonna party. Expel liquids from my body.
I'm very proud of him. All right,
How
how's
long ago do you
everybody?
think he learned how to do that?
How long ago did he learn how to go potty? I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably, let's see, 6-7 minutes ago.
That's about right.
Yeah. I'm proud of him, though.
And then we go to Neptune. In the Neptune,
Oh my God,
Oh, Jesus Christ, shut the
fucking
fuck
man,
up.
you need help. You need help. You're sick.
I'm sick with the lore.
All right, Sean, if you
I
want
do
to
like the lore.
you want to beam that over to me when you get a chance.
Yeah, I'm getting it pulled up now.
Bum, 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 party.
Do it.
Bum, 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 party. Yes, monthly Q&A will happen this weekend. Yeah.
I can't stand that PowerPoint does this.
It took me a second to like get it working, so
Well, no, presenter view takes over your whole freaking computer and it annoys me.
yeah, there's no window mode.
I mean, like, it would reveal too much if I had anything other than presenter mode.
Okay. And I was trying to think if it's well, I mean, just presenter mode in a window mode, but I guess that doesn't
No,
make
yeah,
sense.
nope,
Right?
that doesn't. Nope, it's always full screen.
Yeah, they don't like that because they're trying to make it
It's
easy
really dumb.
for like office workers.
Yeah,
that was a good
basically.
shot. Dun, 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 party. Man, why is that song in my head? Mike sucks. Do I think the next Switch could have a magnesium alloy body?
Nope, wrong one.
I don't think so. Yes. No.
Is that a reference to something?
I feel like it is, but I don't know.
It feels like a magnesium.
is it a
that a
fusion
battle
thing?
angel?
Alita
Is it-
Battle
is it-
Angel?
Yeah, I think it is. It might be.
It sound, okay, now you say it. Listen, it was on TNT. You think I was paying full attention to Alita
I love
Battle
that
Angel?
movie.
It's
I really like that movie.
it's a really watchable movie.
Yes,
Is that the one with the girl with the big eyes, or is that a different one?
Nope, you're right. You got
that
it.
manga is pretty fucking dark, and they made that movie really watchable and enjoyable.
Should I
Not that.
read super chats first we get back, Jeff?
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay.
Party. Guys, we're getting set up for the game.
You got my potty song stuck
Yes,
in your
I've been
head,
singing
huh?
it this whole time.
Good.
It's too good,
Liquids
man.
from my body.
Oh, that's just a step too
That's
far.
nasty. And then you go back.
That's what rhymes with the first verse. Or not verse, line, really.
Satellite's the most logical thing in the world.
Hi, Canoodle. Like, how old am I? I'm 36 years old and very proud of the fact that pee and farts still make me laugh.
Yeah. I mean, farts are just really, yeah.
That's just like
I asked-
timeless.
I asked Emmy why she
Humor.
thought they were so funny tonight, and she says, because they're stinky. I'm like, that's a really good point. Like, you
She's
got a
right.
really
That's
good point.
I think the sound is what's really funny. The smell is like, sometimes I think it's funny, sometimes it's gross. The sound is always funny.
Yes. The sound is, it's just a big trumpet
I mean,
sound.
it comes in a lot of different varieties.
Yeah.
And they're all good. There's
Okay,
your little
I think that got
tutors,
working.
your wet rippers, your thunderers.
Uh-huh.
They're all good.
Bum, 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 oh, there it is. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
connoisseur of farting.
Like at least 80 going by Blake Club today. Like none of y'all ever watch Peanuts. Charlie Brown.
Yeah, that was
Sad.
that ruled. That ruled. You started talking about peanuts. Oh boy. Okay.
That joke slayed in high school.
Uh-huh.
Because my band director, who I was in the tuba section, my band director was going on and on about some obscure composer, how great he was. I just leaned over to my friend like, then how come his picture's not in bubblegum cards? My buddy was dying. So there.
How can you be
That's
important?
pretty good.
It's not a bubblegum card.
Thank you, Sean. You get it.
I get
Sean
it.
understands the reference. Boomer Mike bring up Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown rules. I remember when that last comic came out, and then that guy died like the next day. Charles
Damn.
Schultz. Yeah, it was weird.
It doesn't
Yeah,
sound like a
Mike,
big
you'll
coincidence.
get
Depression.
Speaking of
I
stripes,
graduated in the class of 05.
stripes, whatever. Speaking of
What's that?
comics,
Strips, comic strips. Yeah. I used to love.
yeah,
Sunday
the Dildo
Funnies.
guy. I don't know what happened to him. People was talking about him.
Oh,
He had a podcast apparently.
he said white people should stay away from black people. And
Dilbert guy.
no!
Yeah.
Why would you do
Segregationist. I mean, he's been
that?
oh man, because he's
Not Dilbert.
he's
been off the
brain
deep end
dead.
for
Yeah.
a while now.
Is he multi-millionaire? What are you talking to a microphone?
Oh, he.
That's
All
right,
right.
Orange. I'm gonna Poland Bulldog. Let's go represent.
Okay, I am. Why is that gotta be
No,
messed up
Here's
okay.
now?
to old Poland,
Alright, whatever.
proudly we sing. We'll drink a toast to Poland high from the good old Poland spring.
What the hell is happening?
That's the Poland, Ohio, Poland High School, Poland Seminary High School fight song. Not fight song, alma mater, excuse me.
Okay, let's bring it back.
Wait, one
In-
sec. I need to send Mike something.
Don't forget, I'm doing super chats first. Yeah, send
yes,
me all
no,
the
I know,
answers,
I know,
Sean,
I
like
know.
you're supposed to.
Where-
Poland,
where'd
not
it go?
Ohio.
Here,
Oh, 'cause you're
you
doing that- you're
might
doing
not
something
have
else. I
seen
get
that
it.
one.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I wrote it down in a notepad because I was worried I
Oh,
would miss
okay,
it.
okay,
I
perfect,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Yep.
Thank you, though.
All right, is everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
Mike, can you read us the super chats, especially the ones from angry people?
Yes, please. Yes, absolutely. But first, from just Uriel Delgado, who said, I meant. Oh, so this is talking about last time we talked about Parasite Eve. We thought he was asking for a remake. He said, I meant port of the PlayStation 1 version of Parasite Eve in HD, like they did for Final Fantasy 6, 7, and 9, or just slap it onto the PlayStation Classics thing. That's much more likely than a remake.
Yeah, how
yes.
has that not happened yet? Like, that should be
Yeah,
on the
that's true.
PlayStation Classics thing. Absolutely.
know. Then he also said, hello, Berg, Fej, and Itanum Ekim. This took me a second, Jeff. He wrote our name backwards.
Right.
That's
Itanum
what he did. Clever
Ekim.
guy. When I saw Ekim, because I used to write my name backwards, or at least the first name, so Ekim I'm familiar with.
Right.
I figured it out. One of you might have been sent back to the fifth dimension. Do you think Xbox has any more surprises launching this year? Do we have any more hi-fi rushes in store for us, Jeff?
I think it's probably, maybe not first party, but they probably have some surprises for Game Pass, maybe.
There could be
well,
like some kind of smaller
Project
Double Fine
Belfry,
thing,
right? Yeah, or that Wu-Tang game that's been in the work for years. That could
Who's
be really.
Wu-Tang?
Oh boy! All right, you're white. We get it.
Wu-Tang Group. RDX, son of a fat says Activision deal Activision deal most likely approved in the EU. I've been seeing people saying this, Jeff. Sounds like the EU is mostly happy.
Yep.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that I think it's really just down to the CMA.
The Xbot murder, not murderer, just murder, says talk Xbox being sold off according to leakers, and now clown face emoji.
Yeah, sure. Andy said, I think what happened was right that Phil Spencer was asked, "Hey, is this the end for Microsoft? If this deal doesn't go through?" And Phil Spencer basically said, "No, this isn't some make or break moment. It's just we have plenty of plans in the works if it doesn't go through." And I think Andy was like, "No, they could totally sell it off if this doesn't go through. Like that's entirely a possibility." I think is how he phrased it. I actually didn't see specifically. I think that's what he said. And okay, yeah, sure. I always think everything is on the table. So, if they want to sell, my big question would be like, who is buying? Like, who
would buy Xbox?
But that 10 what
10 Amazon,
Verizon, Saudi Arabia. Sure, yeah. There's buyers out there. I just think they are trending in the right direction, and they have a 10-year plan. I don't think that this deal was not something that was on their roadmap several years ago. As like, well, we got to make that happen, or else we're going to shut down Xbox. I think this is just a setback, and they figure something else out.
Xbox Murder said, "Stop ducking. Answer my chat. You lied. Starfield Direct." Yeah, we answered the chats all together at once there, buddy. Jeff said a Starfield Direct is probably coming either this week or next week. So,
I also said I've heard it's coming next week for months, because that's my inbox is like, or my DMs are like someone else saying Starfield Direct, or it's happening. And so I said, don't trust me. Literally said those words. Don't trust me. Trust the other people who are saying this, which I think is what, Andy and Jez.
He loves Andy.
Yeah, you love Andy. So
Xbox Murder loves. In fact, I'll just jump to it now. He says, wait. Oh gosh, there's multiple. Man, he said, man, yeah, non-story. I had to just go through them. Well, he said clown face, non-story in quotations. Andy is more reliable than you. Clown face emoji.
Agreed. So let's see what he said.
Look, ask Andy what he thinks of Jeff then, since you value Andy's opinion so much. Ask Andy if he thinks Jeff's reliable.
And then
we'll see what he says.
And then tell Andy to buy me a beer, because I want to hang out with him.
Fun. Yeah. Guess who Andy's actually friends with? weirdo. RDX Son of a Fet says, is Sony scared about having to turn over 5 years of internal documents and third-party contracts to Xbox?
Yes. Of course they are. No one wants. That's why these things always settle. Yes. These companies don't want to do that. They don't know what they don't know what's going to be found in there.
Can Sony be in a position where like, oh, never mind? Or is
yes,
it too
by
late?
settling.
Like Sony, but do you think it's going to happen? You think Microsoft's just going to look at those documents now?
I think that there's a very if the FTC like gives any indication that they're gonna maybe it's not the FTC. It probably comes down to the CMA. If the CMA moves towards Microsoft, that's the one thing that could shake Sony loose, where they're like, oh well, we've already lost. There's no reason for us to lose and have to go do a bunch of fucking paperwork and hand over emails from Jim Ryan, where he probably said some weird thing about a food because he's British. And so it's going to be really embarrassing if that ever leaks out. And why wouldn't they leak it out other than it'd be very illegal? But yeah, I mean, I think that Sony really doesn't want to do that.
The Uncharted Wolf says, added the Wolong Metacritic results and podcast producers. And yes, I have it right here. It says, Jeff's comeback might be happening soon, beefy man. Wolong Fallen Dynasty reviews are in. It's currently sitting at an 85 on PlayStation 5 with a 48 critic reviews. Grubb predicted 82, while Mike predicted a 75, giving Jeff the point. There you go, Jeff. Your dream's not dead.
What's the actual score?
It got a 81. You said 82. You were very close.
Okay,
I was down on it. I said 75.
It could still like notch over at 1 point, and I could get that bonus.
Maybe.
But maybe because we have until April 1st, right?
Yeah, we have some time here, so yeah, that's good. Then Michael Haynes says, when did you find out Xbox Killer is actually Dean?
I would like that.
Funny.
That'd be fun.
Oh, Xbot Murder said, holy shills. Talk Xbox in the sellout leak. I mean, we just did.
Yep, you're welcome. Thanks for the money.
Thank you. Al Grug said, what game would Mike want to speedrun? As he was surgically made into a GameCube guide. How about an F-Zero GX? It's sub 30 minutes for the story. I don't know if I do a racing game. I don't know. I've been thinking about this a little bit, Jeff. It's hard because I don't want to do I don't know if I want to do a Mega Man. One, because I like those games so much. I don't know if I want to learn the speed run routes and I can't play them normally ever again. And two, I think Mega Man games require a lot of mashing. I think being good at it comes down to how well you can smash that shoot button and also how good you are at menuing, which is how fast you can navigate the menus really quickly. I don't know how much fun that sounds. And the GameCube for 3D games are weird in general because a lot of time there's always sequence breaking. Watch a Metroid Prime speed run. It's almost kind of disappointing because it's not what you really want it to be. It's people going out of bounds and kind of breaking geometry and stuff like that. So I don't know. Is there a game you think I'd be well suited to speed run?
I mean, I think honestly, I think you'd be good at a lot of different because you got a broad skill set when it comes to playing games. So I think you'd be pretty good at a lot of stuff. But I mean, I think it does probably just all come back to Mega Man mostly.
Maybe I'll do Mega Man 5, not Mega Man 3, my absolute favorite, not Mega Man 2, which a million people speedrun. So
right when you were about to answer this question, Antonioni in chat says boomer pick coming. Oh, Chad, I love you so much.
I'll speedrun Among Us there.
Oh, God damn it, I love it.
Major Blazer says, will Final Fantasy XVI hit Luigi's Mansion 3 numbers? I mean, according to Square, well, okay. So Square Enix says that Final Fantasy 15 sold 10 million copies, which, again, doesn't seem right to me. And that Final Fantasy VII Remake sold 5 million. That seems like the better comparison here, because just like that, it's only on PlayStation, at least for a while. So, no, it's not going to sell 10 million copies. I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean...
maybe 8 if it's lucky.
Yeah, I want to have more faith in this one for some reason. And I want to think that it's...
Well, they're definitely trying to hit a broader audience. That's why they're,
But it's PS5 only, right? Or is it PS5 and PS4?
PlayStation 5? No, just PlayStation 5. It's not cross-gen.
So what, we're going to be at 35, maybe 40 million PlayStation? I mean, by this holiday.
It's hard to imagine 1 out of 4 PlayStation 5 owners is going to get any game.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to sell 11 million copies. Not anytime soon, anyhow.
William Hillman says, not to be an old man, but growing up with Final Fantasy since 4, kind of sad the game is no longer really an RPG. Game looks great, though. I mean, I do get that perspective. And I only got annoyed because, like I said, as I got aware, I had so many people tweeting at me, Jeff, like
Sure.
panicking, and some people like refusing to believe me, but mostly just people being like, oh, now I don't care anymore. Which largely was weird for me because I thought we knew this about this game. But hey, you know, if you want a turn-based RPG and if you're not interested in something that isn't, that's fine. But Final Fantasy has also not really been that. Although, granted, like 7 Remake, I think did do a really good job of kind of adapting something like that into that. Yeah, I'll be clear. I'd be a little surprised if I liked this more than Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I hope I do, but Final Fantasy 7 Remake is fantastic. But again, somehow only sold. I know just 5 million sounds weird, but just 5 million.
Yep.
Game Knobs says, what's the chance Sony retaliates from the ABK deal? I don't know. How would they retaliate? Or I wonder if he meant retreat. But, I'm not sure.
Is he saying which company? Sony?
What's the chance Sony retaliates from the ABK?
Yeah, I'm sure they meant retreat. But I mean, I guess let's say retaliates. I mean, they've been retaliating the whole time. So the chances are 100%. If it's retreat, again, like it's 0 unless the CMA budges.
D. Jones says, rumors of an Ori 3 floating around. Which studio would make it? First, second, or third? Since Microsoft cut ties with Moon Studio. I haven't seen these rumors, Jeff. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I would be pretty surprised. Moon Studios is making a new game. Like D. Jones said here, they are not affiliated with Microsoft anymore. That guy, by the way, has been like tweeting again. It has been saying that the GamesBeat story was fake news, where we detailed about the toxic work environment and how they are doing an awful job of retaining talent and all this other stuff. So yeah, sure. I don't know. I don't know if there is anybody who could just kind of jump in and make an Ori. Like who would do that?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Also, like, not to give spoilers, Ori 2 ended pretty definitively. I don't really know how you make a sequel. I love those games. I don't need an Ori 3. I don't.
Right.
And that's it for now, everybody. If there are any more super chats you want to send, we will read them before the end of the night. I promise.
Okay, so that's going to bring us to Game Mess Predicts Retro Video Game Review Scores, a BOP original hosted by Turbo Sean. Sean, are you there and do you want to take over?
I am here and I would love to take over.
Thank you so
Jeff.
much.
I don't know. I don't know why Bob didn't put it on the screen, but his title for the game they put in the PowerPoint presentation file name is Closest to the Messy Pin, which I think that's awesome. And I want to use that tonight because it is a golf themed prediction game. Gentlemen, let me walk you through how this is going to work. Every round, you will be given a certified retro game. Of course, that means older than 10 years ago, as we all know. Your goal is to predict the game's Metacritic score. You'll be given supporting information such as the console the reviews are based on, the release date, and how many critics Metacritic used to aggregate. No, you won't, because I don't have that information on hand. I can't see it right now.
I don't need it.
Yeah, we're good.
Yes, in this game, you will be going by, this is all just a long talk for golf rules. So what's going to happen is you're going to predict the score, and then
not Price is Right rules. Going over...
Mike, shut the hell up and let me finish.
I'm just clarifying for the people.
It is golf rules. So what's going to happen...
Not Price is Right.
Shut the...
I bet one...
What's going to happen is you're going to predict the score. However far away from the actual score you are, you will get that many points. And the goal at the end of the game is to have the fewest amount of points. So it's like golf. You want the lowest scores. I'm going to kill this man one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, he'll deserve it. No court in the land will convict you.
Yeah.
Ohio.
Anyways, let's get into the game, gentlemen.
Let's do it.
I want to know what you think Super Mario 64 got on Metacritic over all these years. The information is here presented by Benji Bob. So, hey, Bob, thank you for that. You made it a lot easier on me. All right, Nintendo 64, release date September 26, 1996. And this is based on 13 critic reviews. So I assume it's just reviews of the time. I'll flip my handy dandy coin right now.
Is it a real coin or is it your frigging dice?
You know.
You will take what I give you. Mike, you want heads or tails?
I want tails, please.
It is tails. Okay, Mike gets to pick first.
Mario 64, I think it has a 97 on Metacritic.
Mike is saying 97. Jeff, what are you thinking here?
I think a 96.
96, gonna under a bit. All right. Let me dial that in. And the correct answer is 94.
Okay.
Shit!
Okay.
So Jeff was closer there.
Shit.
All right. That's under par for sure.
All righty. The next game up will be NBA Street Volume 2. Released for, this is the PlayStation 2 version specifically. This is not all console versions aggregated. Released, of course, in April 28th of 2003. And this is based on 31 critic reviews.
I'm first, right?
Well, yeah, well, all three.
If it was
Jeff,
golf
you can
rules,
go
I
first.
wouldn't be, right? But it's okay. Let's see. 93. Yeah, 93.
93. Okay.
I'm going to go 89.
Mike is going 89.
Yes, sir.
That's a
Most
good-
difficult
that's
one
a
for me
real-
to input. Okay.
Just
The
wanted to make it
correct,
work.
like always, the correct answer is
Shit.
90.
That's a good. That was a,
Mike was closer
that was
there.
a good.
One away.
89 was a good one. Good.
Thank you, Jeff.
Shit.
It felt
All
good. I was
right.
going to guess that even if I went first.
That means that cumulatively, Mike is leading by having the lower score at 4 versus
Yes,
Jeff's
yes.
5. So
That
you're
game's a
very
100,
close
by
here,
the
guys,
way.
very
So
close.
fuck everybody.
It's a good game.
It is very good. All right, game number 3 is going to be Grim Fandango, the PC version, released October 14th, 1998, and this is based on 15 critic reviews. I want you to know, very interesting here with the alternating. Mike will be going first here.
This is one of my favorite games.
Sounds like
God.
this was planned.
Yeah. Shoot, it's fewer reviews, which makes me think that it's like adventure game fans who reviewed it. I'm gonna go 95.
Ooh, Mike's shooting high. Okay.
That's like, man, that's really tough though. Like, do I? 'Cause I agree with his logic on all of that. And do I think it get like? Because I know that game was like game of the year for a lot of people.
GameSpot's Game of the Year over Metal Gear Solid and Ocarina of Time. Half-Life 1. I've always liked GameSpot and people who work for them.
15 critic reviews. I'm gonna say a 96. I'm going up. I'm going higher.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow.
Interesting choice.
I know, it's tough,
96
but-
from Jeff. All right, gentlemen. Correct answer is 94.
Shit. Wow.
Man, if I would just gone the
Sure
other
went
side,
under.
it was 94 or 96. Fuck.
We were on the right track. Have you ever played through all of Grim Fandango, Jeff?
No, and I would actually like to start playing all those games.
Oh, Grim Fandango, especially the remaster. God, it's a good game. Okay.
Okay. Game number 4. Wave Race 64. Mr. Grubb, how you feeling here?
I'm gonna go with an 89.
Just going with 89. Okay. High up on the lower end of where you guys have been. Say 89?
89.
89. Okay.
I'm going
Mikey.
to say 87.
87. Okay.
Man, just a vast ocean of numbers down
People
there.
in chat are already saying Grubb Fandango, Jeff, and boy, that's good.
Okay, yeah,
That's
we'll
good.
look
There's
into it,
artwork
people.
coming at some point with that. All right, Wave Race 64, which I don't think I mentioned, of course, is on the Nintendo 64. Released November 1st, 1996, based on 13 critic reviews. Just getting that out there for the audio listeners. The correct answer is 92.
Wow. Yeah.
Aiming high there. Jeff
Man.
getting 3 points. Mike
It is a very good
getting
game.
5 points, which means you guys are tied
Wow.
10-10 going into the final round.
This is the final round. Oh my God, Jeff.
This is
The
final round.
drama.
We have 5 games tonight.
It's
yeah.
almost like we planned it. Is this kayfabe or work, or is it all work that's been worked into a shoot?
It's just good radio is what it is. Gentlemen, the 5th and final game is going to be Final Fantasy.
No, anything but that.
9.
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, listen, it's a Mikey game, but...
Oh, God, 9. 22 reviews. This is hard.
22 critic reviews. The PS1 original, released November 13th, 2000.
This is so hard because this game really got so much more love after the fact. But Metacritic has like newer reviews in there. It's not just reviews of the time.
As long as they reviewed the original PS1 version.
Yeah, right,
it should
right.
be eligible.
I'm going to say 90.
Mike's going 90. Okay. Now this is it. This is the end of the line, Jeff. Make or break.
89.
Remember, you want to get as close as possible.
89.
Wow. Oh, shit.
89, undercutting him.
I think we should next time. Should we just send our answers to
No,
Sean?
I like this. No,
You like
I
this?
love
Okay,
this.
okay.
I like this.
All right.
It's kind of like Price is Right, and I like Price is Right. I like that you play against the opponent.
So it's a question. Did this game score in the 90s? Did it score in the 80s? The answer is 94.
Shit! As soon as I like start thinking about it, I'm like, oh no, it's a Final Fantasy game on the PlayStation. Of course it had to baked in. 94 is like that game getting an 89. Oh,
That
man.
means the final score is Mike with 14, Jeff with 15 by 1 point. Mikey wins, closest to the messy pin this evening.
Oh, it's a messy pen. Wow, that was a close one, Jeff. Good game.
That was a good game. Well done, Benji. Thank you so much for that. If anyone else
shouts
wants
to
to do a
Bob
quiz like
for
this,
that.
you don't have to do as much work as Bob did. He's special.
Very good.
But Sean, thank you so much for hosting. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Sean.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Benji. That was a lot of fun.
Can I tell people where to find me on the internet, Jeff?
You
Is that
should,
allowed?
please.
All right, well, first of all, I did want to shout out, if you like game shows like this,
Yes.
hey, we do a game show every single month here that I host, Game Mess Jeopardy, which is what it sounds like. I get together with these guys. We do a video game themed game of Jeopardy with one of our friends from the industry. One of the reasons I want to shout this out is that our most recent public episode with Ben Hansen from MinMax is live on the YouTube channel right now. Guys, it premiered less than a week ago and is by far our best performing episode ever. It's already over 4,000 views, which is it's on track to become our best viewed episode ever, which is very cool. So thanks to everyone for supporting that. And then the public episode that I'm gonna say we premiered one night only on Jeff's Twitch channel. That's how I'm spinning this one. That will be going up for everyone on YouTube at the end of the month, and it will be up for patrons later tonight because the
Dan
YouTube
Reichert.
video just finished processing. Yeah, we had Dan Reichert back on the show for season 2 premiere.
We had to
That was
unarchive
awesome.
it on Twitch because Jeff accidentally doxed himself.
I feel like we
I
don't
didn't
have to keep
wanna say
saying that. I feel like we could
I
just
don't wanna
ignore
be
that
nice
that
about
happened.
it, but,
No, it's funny.
Wait to bring
Damn
it.
it.
Okay.
It'd be one thing if you like did it like as it happened, but you showed a pre-recorded video of you doxing yourself.
Listen. Okay,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, and then real quick, personal stuff from me is Twitter, TurboSean_, Twitch, and now YouTube as TurboSean. So
YouTube.
hey, if you can't check my streams live because I know I do it at a weird time in the afternoon, I can check them on YouTube. I got my deep dive on the Pokemon Presents from the other day, and today I put up a video showcasing Pokemon Stadium mini games. So hey, if you like my brand of stuff, maybe go subscribe or follow over there.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Sean.
thanks for letting me host this for you guys, and shout out to Bob for putting this together.
Yep, have a good night, man.
Hey, you too.
Okay, Mike, that brings us to our other matchup of the night. It is time once again to get out the Kevin Costner mugs and say it's draft day here in Cleveland, Ohio. I am going to go. No, you go first, right? So
I go first because I lost. That's how drafts work.
right. So actually,
I'm the worst, so I go first.
all right. Let me fix this real quick. Let me get rid of this. Well, actually, I'm going to bring that. over.
So we are drafting everybody from. So last time we did, we were drafting amongst Super Nintendo and Genesis. This time we are drafting amongst PlayStation 1, Sega Saturn, and Nintendo 64. We're trying to draft the better games lineup for our console. Jeff, we need new console names. Holy crap!
Right. Yeah. I am Ultra Grubb 64.
You're Ultra Grubb 64.
And I put you as Mike Minotti Station, but I figured you want to pick your own.
I was gonna do something station, but how about just Mikey Station? Would be
Mikey
better.
Station. Okay. I mean,
Mikey Station. Ultra Grubb 64.
Yeah, let me just fix the cameras real quick, then we'll go. I suppose if you wanted to, you could like start reasoning out what you're going to pick first.
Okay.
Unless there's anything else we should tell the audience. I think we've pretty much explained what's happening here.
Yeah, are we going to do 12 again? I think that's what we did last time.
We're
pretty good.
We're going to do 12. We are going to let people vote. And if you're a podcast producer, it'll be in there. So, yes, basically, Mike, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Shit. You think I would have thought about this a while if I thought I was going to go first. And I mean, I did.
I mean, I'll go first.
I don't know. I feel like whatever I say, Jeff, people are going to tell me it's a big boomer pick. And whatever you pick is some
Listen, do you think Kevin Costner cared what people thought about him when he was making his picks in the movie Draft Day?
Well, he did for a second, and then he learned that he shouldn't.
That's and that's the hero's journey.
Yeah, you're right. Shit. Okay. All right. Look, I will take The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time first.
Okay. Mikey Station, and he's choosing The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. So there's a few very big hitters. This is a very, very, very popular game. Obviously, it's not my favorite Zelda game, but it is the most Zelda game, right? So I think I got to go with that. I think it makes sense. Where are you going, Jeff?
Yeah, this is tough. This is actually why I wanted to go first, because it's if I do that, you do that. If I do that, you do that.
Yeah,
it's tough, but I'm wondering if I should lean towards a winning strategy and go with Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is my pick.
Okay.
All right, back to you. Yeah.
Shit. Okay. There's a lot more JRPGs for me to play with in this
Yes,
generation.
definitely.
So, I mean, you took the big one. But you're not going to take like the other two like you did last time. And I'm not going to forget about an Earthbound like I did last time too. All right, if you took those, I will take Metal Gear Solid 1 now.
Okay.
Which is, I like that even more than Ocarina of Time. To be clear, I think Metal Gear Solid 1 has probably aged better than Ocarina of Time has even. Metal Gear Solid 1 got a remake, and I think the original is still better. Ocarina of Time got a remake on 3DS, and I would rather play the 3DS version. So
Super Mario 64! I'm sorry, I just couldn't hold myself in anymore.
I know.
I feel like I got away with one there, but you're right. Metal Gear Solid 1, obviously.
All I'm thinking, Jeff, is that every time I say like Mario 64, people scream at me about the
camera.
No,
I know. And then we haven't picked it so far, and we're getting yelled at for not picking it. But yeah, okay. So far, Mikey Station has Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid 1. I have Final Fantasy VII, Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64, I think is, to me, it's the ideal game from this generation. I think the reason I did wait this long, it's my second pick. What am I saying? But the reason I waited, I didn't go with my first pick is I think that there is a kinder nostalgia for Final Fantasy VII because I think the bar is lower because it's got the story and the characters people like. So if the gameplay and the graphics aren't quite there in the same way that it's not for any of these games, I think it's easier for people to be like, no, it's Final Fantasy VII. Super Mario 64, I think it's judged a little bit harsher because it is such a mechanical game, and so it's like you want it to be pretty and you want it to feel exactly how you want it to feel, and it feels great to me. But I'm like, man, I think there's a lot of kids out there who are gonna be like, that doesn't do anything for me. But I still think most people are gonna be like, Super Mario 64, you have to have it there.
Someone in chat, Super Blastic said this, and I kind of agree. If we did our Mount Rushmore like we kind of do of this era, this is kind of it. If you think about the four most important games of consoles, at least, and like that console generation, Final Fantasy VII, Ocarina of Time,
we are
Mario
gonna,
64.
and I think we're very quickly here gonna come up with the ones that would have been in conversation and got cut because we're right there. So, yeah, that's our Mount Rushmore. Mike, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting because now I'm trying to play. There's some that I think I should do, but I think you're not gonna pick.
You tried that strategy last time. Go for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Resident Evil 2.
Really good one. Damn it.
Resident Evil
I was
2.
really considering that. Resident Evil 2.
I haven't even played this original one yet. I played Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation and thought it still hold up, and everyone likes 2 more. I'm excited to actually go back and play both the remake and the original. But yeah, another 1998 all-time Pogger classic, as they say. Beef Hammer gives me an oof. Oof. Don't you oof me. Yeah, everyone says, yeah, the people think it's good.
Okay, this is tough. It does feel like, man, that was, because I'm just gonna go with. All right, give me a second to think it out, because like that, your Resident Evil 2 is the one I was gonna pick, and now I'm like, I don't know if
yes,
I don't know if I could go, if I could do Resident Evil 1. I'm not sure.
Fighting. Try to counterpick it.
Yes, right, and it's like, but I mean, then I think again, should I just stick to my winning strategy and just like commit in that direction and start picking out some of those from you? Honestly, I think I'm gonna go Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay.
Because I think those two will. I mean, you'll have other RPGs, but I don't know if any of them are gonna. I think that's gonna be like, I don't know. I feel like this puts you in a corner.
I think you messed up.
I'm sure you said that last time too.
Yeah, but like, you picked 8 before 9. There's no way you're gonna get all. You're not gonna take all 3 Final Fantasy.
No, yeah, but 9. I know, but 9 is you. It's not. It is of those 3. It is the one that, yes, I think it's beloved. Got its flowers later.
See, I
yes.
think most people would pick 8. I think the people who know would pick 9 before.
Right. I think the people who, yes, I do. I agree. The people that know. I think there are fewer people who know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to right now take Symphony of the Night.
That's a good one. Castle.
That's what I'm going to do. Because it's there aren't a lot of great 2D games from this era. To be fair, Symphony of the Night is the best one. It's actually still my favorite. I love all the Game Boy Advance and DS ones. I still like Symphony of the Night the most. Or it's just a little something there that I like. I even like the cheesy voice acting. For some reason I have the whole intro memorized. I can do the whole bit between Richter and Dracula. I'm a freak. Symphony of the Night is great.
I'm gonna go with, let's see here. I'm like leaning towards PlayStation, but I'm not sure, because like that one might be.
Yeah, well, the PlayStation's a lot better than the Nintendo 64. I'll say it. It just is. PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64. Technically, I know Saturn's up there. It'll be interesting to see if any of us take any Saturn games. I love the Saturn. I learned people. My Genesis picks were obscure. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to go any Saturn picks this time.
If this one hadn't had a like a recent clobbering, I don't know. Maybe I would have picked it, but I don't know if it's going to move anything. No.
Interesting. Interesting.
I think maybe this is the. I think this is maybe the move now. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go with GoldenEye. I'm gonna go with GoldenEye.
Okay. It has gone a little bit of. It did get a little bit of recent clobbering. You're right.
All right. Yeah, you, Mike.
Tekken 3. Bitch.
Tekken 3.
I like them apples.
It's pretty good. I mean, I just don't know how much fighting games move our audience. That's why I haven't been picking fighting games.
We'll see. No, are you sure? Because you got a lot of support for picking. You won off of fighting games last time. You got Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and I got nothing last time, and I think it helped you a lot.
I think yes, I think it did. But I don't. I think I got them. I don't know. I feel like I got them late for a reason. But I mean, I guess we're getting there. It makes sense. I listen. I don't think Tekken 3 hurts you in any way.
I think it helps a lot. I think it's a good one.
I'm gonna go with. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with this strategy. I'm gonna go with Paper Mario.
Okay. It's probably the best RPG on the Nintendo 64.
And yeah, I mean, and I think it's a game that's easy to go back to, even though obviously people prefer 1,000-Year Door. But I mean, I think it's a more timeless game from the N64 than a lot of others.
All right, I am going to pick Gran Turismo 2. I want a racing game. It's the biggest racing game of this generation. I think that's got to be the pick for me. I know I'm kind of doing my trying to round out genres thing again. It didn't necessarily work for me last time, but I think I'm better ahead of the curve here this time. I feel good about it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with my racing game, and I'm gonna go with Wave Race 64.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
It's I mean, it's the best racing game of the generation. So yeah, that's pretty easy for me. It also just feels incredible. I think we're setting up for a PlayStation versus Nintendo thing, and I think it's a long shot for me. But I'm hoping that the Nintendo bias in our audience helps.
Well, so that's why I am thinking that, and I didn't get Mario, but I should get something else Nintendo at least, and that's why now I really want to take Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes, that's a good one.
I think it's going to give me some of that Nintendo flair. It's to be covered on 3D platformers. I'm going to be pretty happy to have Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay. I'm going to go with The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Okay.
I think
Majora's Mask.
It's obviously not going to undo everything from Ocarina of Time, but I think it's going to help me round out a little bit.
Okay. So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am going. Okay, I'll take Final Fantasy IX now. Now I will take Final Fantasy IX before you do something weird and also claim that one. I think it's the best one. I know 7 is more popular, but Final Fantasy IX rules. It's one of my favorite games. It was my favorite Final Fantasy until Final Fantasy XIV. Still prefer playing it on the PlayStation even. I think it looks better there than in the remasters. So yeah, that's one of my favorites.
All right, I'm gonna go with WWF No Mercy.
That's a good one.
I think that a wrestling game sort of covers sports and a party game, and it's nostalgic, and it's got. I mean, I think it checks a lot of boxes, and it's the best of those wrestling games.
It is. I am going to pick. I have an answer that could be kind of spiteful,
sure,
but also good.
Sure.
I'm gonna take Einhander. Fuck you.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I want Einhander. I played that not too long ago. That game rules. I think people know. I think this isn't a boomer pick.
Mike, I think it's totally a boomer pick.
It might be totally a boomer pick. Guys, Einhander rules. You're gonna have to believe me.
I agree. I know, but I'm a boomer. So yeah. Let's see who else likes it. MVG. Yeah, not a boomer at all.
Damn it. Shit.
Okay. I think. Yeah, I'm like, listen, I know I'm like really like covering this, but I think I don't think I can like be like, oh well, I'm gonna go back and go in this other direction now. I'm gonna go with Super Smash Brothers.
Okay.
I think again a fun party game, something that something you can switch off from these other things, and I think have a lot of fun with.
I will pick. Which one do I want? I will pick. This is hard. I'll pick Crash 3 Warped.
Okay.
I don't know. I think this was a bit more iffy. I see some people like, oh, the Crash games are good. I think the Crash games are very good. I think they're a lot of fun. I think the third one is probably the best of them. They're all good, but I like Crash 3 Warped a lot.
Okay, I'm thinking. How many choices do we have left?
You have 3 left. I have 2 left.
Okay. I think that we're probably not going to have a lot of ones where we're like guessing for the other or like stealing each other's ones. It's probably going to be pretty long shots at this point. I think my I think my boomer pick, and it's not really a boomer pick, but I don't know, maybe it's only boomers that know about it. I'm gonna go with Vagrant Story. I think it's probably one of the best games of this generation, one that most people probably haven't played. But I think if we're gonna go with people, if you know, you know, Vagrant Story is that game by far.
Okay, I do want to short my JRPG picks a little bit. So I'm going to go with Suikoden 2.
Okay, that's a good one.
Like,
yeah,
that's a real like RPG fans RPG. So yeah, I think that'll kind of help win that audience over to me a little bit more. Like, good job, Jeff. You
thank you.
it.
Yeah, perfect. Got it in one.
There you go. Yeah, it's interesting now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Got 2 left. I get 1 left.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I don't feel. I just don't feel really. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
I mean, I don't feel great about any of my choices, but of all the ones I had available, that's the one I feel the best about.
All right, I'm gonna pick a Mikey game just to end it out because I felt really strongly last time, Jeff, and it went like a disaster.
I really like your console.
Yeah, well, you liked my console last time too, and I lost. But I'm gonna pick maybe my favorite game from this generation. Well, my favorite game from this generation that isn't Mario 64, but Ridge Racer Type 4. I picked Gran Turismo 2 first because I had to like follow my brain because I know it's more popular. Blah blah blah. Ridge Racer Type 4 is where my heart is, though. I freaking love that game. One of the best soundtracks ever. Just feels so good for me to play. I think it does the best of capturing PlayStation 1 visuals and everything about them that's appealing while minimizing stuff about them that's unappealing. So maybe it's a boomer pick. I don't know. But man, I love Ridge Racer Type 4. The world is your oyster, Jeff.
Yep.
You have a lot more Nintendo 64 games than I do.
I'm going to go with Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Okay.
I think that's not as powerful as Street Fighter 2 was last time. And I considered X-Men versus Street Fighter. I think
that's not a good on PlayStation.
Yes. Well, I mean, I was going to do the Saturn version. But
oh right, that's up for grab. Yeah,
yeah, not a single with Saturn. The Street Fighter Alpha 3, we'll say that's the Saturn version.
Yeah, no, Charlie Wolf said not Street Fighter 3. That didn't have a good port until Dreamcast. So Jeff's right. Jeff's correct here.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, listen, I think that Tekken 3 is awesome, but I think that there's a 2D fighting game fan audience that we have that I think might get moved by this. So I'm hopeful. I'm not that hopeful. I feel the same way I did last time, and then maybe that's a good sign. But I mean, I think last time felt like a fluke to me. So we'll see. So
I just saw a chat, Jeff. Somehow we both missed Tony Hawk this time around. That's incredible. For as much as we like Tony Hawk.
Yeah, God, it's like those multi-platform ones are like really tough. Like that was the thing, and I think about it on N64 and PlayStation. But
see, I only think of it as a PlayStation game, and I completely forgot about Tony Hawk. So
man, that would have been much better.
I thought about Spyro Wolf, and I was like, I don't know. I'd rather have Crash and Spyro. I don't know if I can have Crash and Spyro. Why don't you start the poll in chat?
Well, for the audio listeners, let's recap real quick. So the Mikey station is going to have The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid 1, Resident Evil 2. It's a trio of bangers. I mean, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Yeah, those are 4 great games. Honestly, I think those 4 games I think win it for you. Then Tekken 3, Gran Turismo 2, Banjo-Kazooie, Final Fantasy 9, Einhander, Crash 3 Warped, Suikoden 2, Ridge Racer Type 4. Then the Ultra Grubb 64 gets you Final Fantasy 7, Super Mario 64, Final Fantasy 8, GoldenEye 007, Paper Mario, Wave Race 64, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, WWF No Mercy, Super Smash Bros. Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy Tactics, Street Fighter Alpha 3. And again, I just don't feel super strong about my list, but
I think your only really big mistake was the very early Final Fantasy 8 pick. I don't think people like Final Fantasy 8 that much anymore. The big like JRPG freaks like maybe they fight over it. That was very early for Final Fantasy 8.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think a lot of people like Final Fantasy 8 sort of because they don't think about it too deeply and they were like there at that time, but we'll see. You're probably right. Okay.
We'll see.
I am going to take actually, Sean, did you get a poll going? I can't remember if we did this, how we did this last time. Let me see. Actually, you know what? We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Go. All right, it's up. You can start a poll in chat. I'm going to pee and get a drink again. It's going to be great.
All right.
Terrific. I'm excited.
Discord.
Yeah, drop my bottle. Good thing it's empty.
The Tony Hawk miss is crazy. Absolutely. it's one that I almost felt like it was already off the board. Like that's how I was thinking of it by the end there. Okay, let's see. Thread is up. Okay, so
Thread is up. Yep. Everyone can go vote in the podcast threads. Well, what the hell do we call that, Christian? Forum in the Discord.
Yes. Okay. So that would be okay. So the podcast threads decides 3 to contributions. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Awesome. Let's. I'm excited to see how it goes. How long did you give? Just as a, or is it one where you could just end it?
Yeah, it's open. We just end it whenever.
Okay. Cool. All right. I'm gonna watch these numbers tick up and see.
No Mario Kart 64, huh?
Yeah, I was afraid after Super Mario Kart. I know a lot of people are much more fond of Super Mario Kart 64, but I think,
yes.
I still think the way that I hear about Double Dash, like my audience is much more into Double Dash than they ever were into Mario Kart 64. I feel like Mario Kart 64 is still technically a boomer pick.
But if you frame it as this is the only option, people will be like, well, Mario Kart is better than no Mario Kart.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I went with Super Smash Brothers instead. I was weighing those two.
Yeah, if you're trying to fill that niche. I'm surprised no Mario Party though.
Yeah, I think that would have been pretty good, but I don't know. Again, I think Super Smash Brothers fills that a little bit better for like it's like targeting, right? You're trying to get the biggest percentage of the audience possible, and it's just
No Mercy.
Well, but I'm also trying to get different. Not necessarily all overlapping things. I'm trying to get people that like there are wrestling fans out there, and they love No Mercy.
Okay.
I mean, listen, I don't feel good about many of my picks, so yeah.
I will say they were both very good lists this time. I'm not gonna sway anyone one way or the other. You actually both came up with very good lists this time.
Yeah, Twisted Metal 2, I considered that, but like I think Twisted Metal's had its time and it doesn't get talked about a lot for a reason. WCW NWO Revenge was my wrestling game too, but I know No Mercy is a big favorite among wrestling fans. All right, everybody, you got a couple more minutes to vote.
Are we doing a poll in the YouTube chat too?
No. We're just doing it in the Discord because the podcast producers are the ones that get to decide this.
Yeah, I thought we did it for fun in the chat last time too. We didn't count it.
Okay. Yeah, well, we could do it. Let's let the podcast producers vote first, and then we can do it.
We'll have them undisturbed. Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna bring us back in. We'll talk for a minute or two, and then we'll close it. Here we go.
If you guys have any more super chats, go ahead and send them in. I think we only have one more new one right now, but we will read it before it's over.
And we're back. Mike, the folks are voting. They have Pokemon gone to the polls. They have.
Dang it! You beat me to it on that joke.
They're trying to decide right now which one they prefer. We will close that poll here in a minute or two. If you want to vote at home, there's probably a way I can make a poll for people later. And if you want to do that,
you did a Twitter poll last time. You just kind of leave it open.
Yeah, I'll do an open Twitter poll. There you go. Mike's very confident this time. That's why he wants all this stuff.
I was very confident last time. I don't know. Who knows? I was so sure I won last time, Jeff, and then apparently I was a boomer, and you were like on point by picking freaking Star Fox and SimCity. Well, I was picking Genesis classics that apparently most people don't care about.
Yeah, use my worst games against me, Mike. How dare you? SimCity's a great game. You just don't know. You just don't know.
Apparently it is, because I saw I never played SimCity on Super Nintendo. I had no idea, to be honest, it was supposed to actually be good on there. Awesome. I've been a PC snob about things before. Like, that's kind of my thing with GoldenEye, and why I never quite got it. It's like, there's way better games than this on the PC. Well, a lot of people weren't playing games on PC back then.
Yeah, so. Sean said both lists are very good this time. So he's proud of you. You got Sean's approval.
Well, because I had Tekken 3. He probably likes that, the fighting game freak that he is.
Probably, but again, your top 4 is very good. So okay, let's one more time. Ultra Grubb 64, Final Fantasy VII, Super Mario 64, Final Fantasy VIII, GoldenEye 007, Paper Mario, Wave Race 64, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, WWF No Mercy, Super Smash Brothers, Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy Tactics, Street Fighter Alpha 3. Mikey's station is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid 1, Resident Evil 2, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Tekken 3, Gran Turismo 2, Banjo-Kazooie, Final Fantasy IX, Einhander, Crash 3 Warped, Suikoden 2, Ridge Racer Type 4. Okay, Mikey, should we close the polls?
Pokemon close the polls. That doesn't work. Oh, no.
All right, let's go ahead, Sean. Let's close it, and we'll get those results. I'm gonna bring up the other thing. Let me fix that real quick.
What's the other thing?
I was gonna bring up the other view here, so that it's not when I go to look at the results.
I see.
It's not all wobbly in my Discord and stuff. But now I gotta fix you in here. So
Fix me, Daddy.
I'm gonna fix you. All right, there you go, son. Okay. Let's do that.
Ooh, results are in. Sean's got results.
All right.
What is it, Sean? What is it? Show me the results, Jeff.
I'm going. Hang on. Let's see here. Okay. With 19 votes to 15, the winner is.
It's close.
Wait, is this right? Am I A or B? The winner is Ultra Grubb 64. Is that right? Mikey's walked away. You motherfucker. I'm also laughing at that. I'm like wanting to be 100. I didn't want to do a La La Land, Sean. That would have been embarrassing for the institution here. They never would trust us again if we did a La La Land. I'm up here being what's the name? Barry White. Barry White is not the guy that messed that up. I can't remember.
There's no way.
19 to 15. Now, is that within the Mikey margin of error? Should we take it?
That's just absolutely crazy.
Should we take it anonymously to Twitter right now?
Please. That is just there's absolutely no way. Christian's like, oh, you guys need to stop saying, oh, this swing had the one game I care about. Christian's like, Street Fighter Alpha 3. You like Street Fighter Alpha 3 that much?
You got to keep ranting while I'm doing this. Just keep ranting.
But Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Final Fantasy Tactics, oh my God. There's just no way. Once again, Jeff built me up like you won for sure, Mike.
I like your console better again.
Final Fantasy 8 third. No one cares about Final Fantasy. It's great. It doesn't care about Final Fantasy 8.
A lot of people like Final Fantasy 8.
I'm gonna kill you.
All right, I'm putting it up there.
No one cares about Final Fantasy Tactics that much. Again. When I pick a game, it's a boomer game. When Jeff picks Final Fantasy Tactics, it's the most beloved all-time classic of all the times. Somehow, I will not go easy. Don't tell me to go easy. I just know. I'll be. If I never believed it before, Jeff, I believe it now. The podcast producers are just always going to vote against me. They will. Yeah,
that paranoia is it's gonna get better with age, I think. So, all right, let's.
No, I will not simmer down. How dare you tell me to calm down? You guys are insane. You're insane. You're actually insane.
Okay, I am gonna add this here.
Is it the Nintendo factor again, Jeff? Is it just because you had more Nintendo 64 games?
That was the strategy. I mean, I had that. You didn't leave me much else. That's what I had to go with. I want to tell you, Mike, had I gone first, my list would have looked like yours.
I just don't get it, Jeff. Nintendo 64 is such a mid system. It's just now. Ooh, now everybody's like, Mario 64 is the greatest game of all time. Every time I talk about liking Mario 64, all I ever get, Jeff, is people yelling at me about how it's aged and how the camera is bad. And now, when I don't pick it, it's the greatest game of all time, which I agree with. I agree with that. I would have picked it first, but everyone yells at me when I talk about it.
He doesn't even win anything if he wins. It's just that's that personal to him.
Why can't I win? I don't get it.
The poll, the anonymous poll, is up live on Twitter. Now, there are hundreds of you here. You could try to sway it, but I mean, I think just vote your heart. Go in there, vote your heart if you want. But the Twitter audience is much bigger, so they are likely to just tell us the truth. It's console A versus console B. I'm console A, you're console B, because last time you were A and I was B. I'm going to get the preliminary results right now. Console A is winning 52.4% to 47.6% with 82 votes. So not
it's swifting as it's already getting better as more of the people not straight from this stream who are voting against me because it's funny are overtaking it. Okay. I'm already winning again, which is the fact that it immediately was out in my favor. Okay, now it's like even again. Oh my god.
Now it's 60-40? Oh wait, it's 15 votes.
It's 50.8.
Okay, never mind. It's still way early. I thought must have been views or something instead of votes.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Early.
So it's way too early. Okay, we'll check in on that in a little bit. Mikey, you gonna be okay?
No.
I love this game.
I can't believe it.
I just think I have way more Kevin Costner energy than you do. I think that's what it is. When's the last time you even watched Draft Day?
I watched it when it came out in Ohio. All the theaters were packed for Draft Day, absolutely packed to the brim. No, I think it's my own fault for being so animated and loud when I lose. It's my own fault. I should try to play cool. I can't help this Italian indignant rage that I have so deep inside of me, Jeff, and it comes out in moments like this. I just cannot believe that people are valuing Paper Mario, GoldenEye, Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy Tactics, Alpha 3 over Resident Evil 2, Symphony Night, Tekken 3, Gran Turismo 2, Banjo-Kazooie. I can't believe it this time. I just cannot. No, last time I was like, I was able to rationalize it. Last time I rationalized it, people were like, don't bet against JRPGs. I had Final Fantasy 9 and Suikoden 2.
Yeah, but not those JRPGs.
People are saying JRPG wins still. Not those ones. Not like the best of the Final Fantasy ones and the most beloved of the non-Final Fantasy ones. Not those two. Yeah, I know he didn't have 7. I know. I almost drafted 7 first. He got it. I was like, okay, then I'll take 9. Einhander. Oh, Einhander's the big boomer pick this time, isn't it? I didn't spell Sweek. Oh, you didn't fix your spelling of Suikoden, Jeff. That tanked
me. No, you are not doing that. No, that is not affecting it. That's how you spell it anyhow.
You know, you're already kind of trouble with JRPGs this week. I agree with them, actually. Jeff's problematic.
A hard J in JRPG.
Am I winning now?
I mean, I could refresh.
No, I'm not. I'm not winning now. I'm still losing.
This says 344 votes. How many? Listen, Twitter's a fucking broken website now. It keeps like
400. Yeah, at 400 votes on mine, you're winning at 52.5%.
Okay, with mine 344 votes, I'm winning 51.7%. It's much closer than last time.
Great.
Does that make you feel better?
Great. Yeah, B is mine, Chris. B is mine, Chris. Thank you.
I mean, listen, you impressed your brothers.
Have a heart attack live on air. And then we'll see what people think is funny.
Put the list again. Everyone wants to see the list again on the stream. Let me bring that up. Okay, yeah, good. This time it actually works. There it is.
All right. All right.
I mean, okay, so Mike, try to look at your list and don't worry about what chat's saying. Mm-hmm. I want you to think about where you might have gone wrong.
Maybe Einhander, because honestly, that was me stunting a little bit. I thought I was so far ahead. I was just going to take one of your favorites. Other than that, I mean, look, the only thing that I didn't pick that I should have is Tony Hawk 2, but you also didn't pick that.
Yeah, no, we both fucked up there, clearly.
We both fucked up there.
Big time.
I definitely have the better Zelda. Last time you had the Zelda. So last time you had you had Link to the Past and I didn't.
No argument.
Like, he has the Zelda game. So
okay, but so you have the better Zelda. So then where'd you go wrong other than Einhander?
Just I don't have as many Nintendo games. That's the actual only thing I could possibly see is I don't have I don't have as many Nintendo games, and I don't specifically have Mario 64 and Final Fantasy VII.
I think it's the Nintendo thing.
I think it's just the Nintendo thing again. Banjo and Crash. Now, all I ever hear about is how much people love Banjo. And now people are saying Banjo sunk it. No way. No way. Crash 3 is mid? Maybe Crash 3 was mid. I could maybe see, maybe I overestimated Crash. No way with Banjo. No way with, yeah, okay, yeah, chat's already agreed with me on Banjo. There's just no way.
Banjo's great.
No, yeah, so I actually don't know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, my strategies for these things have been JRPGs.
Your strategy is to do whatever you want because you always beat me. People always just vote against me.
I mean, I'm just saying the same strategy worked twice in a row. Corner RPGs and Nintendo.
There are so many people trying to say blanket so-and-so did it for me, which makes me think it really is just people like are scanning and looking for their favorite game, and they're going to vote for that.
Well, yeah, of course. That's why you also have to do the spread. That's why I do WWF No Mercy. A Vagrant Story. Like,
that's not the spirit of what it is, Jeff.
No, what? No, of course it is. No, we're not. I mean,
it's supposed to be an overall. This is the one console you get.
Yeah, but we're trying. We know that people are voting on it, so that is the goal, to get the most votes. And so for that, you have to draft the team that can play the game. Like, that's like if the sport you're playing is.
Look, Jeff, I'm not mad at you. I don't blame you.
Well, you know what? I think I'm a little mad at you for not drafting better.
Oh. Let's move on. For the love of God. I swear to God, if Batman existed in my universe, I would become a supervillain right now.
Okay.
Please.
Mike, what have you been playing this week?
What I have? I beat Hi-Fi Rush.
That's a good game, huh?
Rush. It's a very good game. So you know what? Like I was doing my thing where, okay, I'm not going to stream this game anymore. I'm just going to go play it in my living room, blah, blah, blah. I had a rough time with it in my living room because there was just a little bit more input lag. I don't know if it was because of the TV or the fact that I have a surround sound speaker, speaker system that's wireless. I'm not sure what it was. And you can like check your input lag. You can't adjust it, but you can check it in the game and it'll tell you if it's fine or not.
Sure.
And it was like, I had to like, mine was like on the border of fine. It's like, it's fine. Okay. It wasn't fine. Yeah. I was doing so much worse. Like, I was getting 50% in battles in terms of like hitting things on the beat, as opposed
50% feels bad. I don't like when I'm there. Yeah.
Even like I could tell because I like to do this thing in between the fights where for my movement I would do the dash 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 light attack dash 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 light attack to the beat, and it's actually like this really fun momentum that you can do. It's actually faster than walking. I just couldn't do it in my living room setup, so then I just kind of like moved back to my streaming setup. And suddenly it was completely fine. So yeah, I think it was actually the wireless speakers. It was just kind of a no-go for that.
Oh, so. Right. That would do that. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's the music. It's a whole other thing to consider in a game like that. But I mean, the end of that game, it's the bosses just keep getting more interesting, cool. They all are unique in fun ways. I love that game.
There's not the last boss, but the woman you fight a couple bosses before that.
Yes.
There's a section that is just literally Space Channel 5, and I was really there for that. That was awesome. I had a super good time with that. Yeah, such a good game. I still have no idea how to actually come to terms with the fact that this is not considered a small game. Maybe I should just stop thinking about that before I go crazy.
How do you feel about it? 2 million players. You think that numbers is that enough?
I don't know. I mean, they celebrated it, which means something, I guess. But right, wait, what do we make of that? Because we don't know how many sold that is. We don't know how many people played it more than once. It's not bad. I'll take it, I guess, right?
Right.
What do you think of it?
I think it's okay, and I would like it to be more because I really like the game, and I would like it to succeed with no caveats. And I think 2 million is pretty good for a small game. Is where it's at right now, and I think 3 million in the very like if they got to 3 million very soon, I would feel really good about that. That would be good. I mean, it's a $30 game, came out of nowhere, no marketing, but it was a big splash with that shadow drop. I think it could do more.
What if Mike, who was like, everyone was just immediately like, wow, this shadow drop was such a great idea. It's an immediate success. And everyone's basing that off of nothing but, well, a lot of people are talking about it on Twitter. What if maybe Mike is right and the game would have done better if it was just promoted for a year before release, like a normal Xbox game. But no, everyone, Mike's always wrong, and Mike always loses, except for that game I won right before we played the other one.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. We should give you this win. Good point.
Yeah.
Great job, big guy. Great job.
I am a genius. Yeah. I threw this in anger in my cap. I had to pick it up now.
Sure. Yeah, you don't want to leave trash on your floor. What else?
Beef. No, don't beef. It's not like Resident Evil 2 isn't a good pick. Go out of here. Just leave me alone.
I was going to pick it if you didn't, so.
Right. So just go leave me alone.
Oh, boy. You always wonder, like, those sliding doors, what, like, if you would have done one other game, would our list be completely
no, I don't think
different?
So. I don't think there's anything I could have done, Jeff.
Oh, my God. Okay. What else have you played?
I absolutely do. You thought last time that was the case, and now suddenly you don't believe it?
No, I thought it was the case with the chat, but not with Twitter. And Twitter was like, I blew you away on Twitter. It wasn't close. It was like a 20-point difference.
Winning on Twitter. Yeah, that is when it came around. It's somehow this gap is just widening on Twitter as people tune on the stream and see how mad I am and continue to vote against me. For the walls, Jeff.
I mean, the replies on Twitter. Damn, greatest game ever made. Ocarina of Time versus No Mercy, GoldenEye, Smash Brothers. I'd only pick A for its longevity / multiplayer
Who
options.
said this?
Just a random person in the replies.
Random.
Let's see. B is the clear.
I like
B is the clear winner.
I like what Kane Dietzel says here. B is the clear winner, and this poll illustrates why people need to be ruled over. there. Well, that's the end all and be all of it.
I'm surprised you like that one so much.
Yeah, Jeff, what did you play this week?
I have been playing that Kirby game. We've gotten a little bit further in it. I've been enjoying that Kerbal Space Program. Mostly, though, I've just gone back to Fire Emblem Engage and been getting further and further in that. It's still a really good game.
I've been struggling to go back to it because I stopped so hard to play Metroid, and now I'm playing some. I'm playing a lot of Theater Rhythm. I started playing Metroid 2 for funsies. I don't know why it's so hard for me to just start playing that game again, but it has been for some reason. I
am mostly still being able to get back in the flow of things with that game. I think if I had waited a week longer, it might have been just enough time to be like, I don't know if I want to go back.
Right, it's maybe I got all I needed out of it.
Right, yeah, but it's I really was loving it, and now I've gone back. I'm loving it, so I'm gonna keep sticking with it because it's the game I'm enjoying playing the most right now. There's a lot of game there, so I'm still not sure if I'm gonna beat it. I'm on a pretty good roll of two games this year so far with Hi-Fi Rush, and then was the one I just played. But yeah, I just beat another game, so it's like, man, why not? Why not beat another game? See how I feel about that. But there's a lot of stuff coming out. I really want to play Like a Dragon Ishin. I booted it up the other day, got through the first little bit of the cutscene, and then my kids are all over me, and I had to do other stuff. So I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to even play that game right now because then I'm juggling Engage and going back to that. And it's not going to slow down. There's just more and more games coming out. So yeah, we'll see.
Are you going to play Wolong?
I was planning to do that, and then Tam said he would do the quick look. I'm like, okay, I don't have to play Wolong right now. I can wait. Game's getting a lot of really good reviews.
Better than I thought.
I might check it out, but it's I don't know. It's tough. It's okay. It's a really good not from software Soulsborne. And I'm like, okay, but I mean, I think I'll just wait for another Soulsborne game, or I'll go back to Elden Ring, or I'll play through Sekiro again. It's not fair to Wulong, and it's. I think people.
It's just a video game. You don't have to be fair to it.
Exactly, and it's it's an 8 out of 10. It's that's really good, but I'm just I'm kind of in a zone where I need 9s because that's all I have time for. And that's
I either need 9s or something that really speaks to me personally, and not just. I don't mean derogatively, but the next Team Ninja.
Right.
Souls-like.
Right. But I want to have a much more well-rounded video game diet than that, but that's just where I'm at right now in terms of how many games are available for me to play. So I'm probably going to miss out on Wolong, and I'm just kind of triaging my time here. And so, okay, we'll play something else instead. It's probably going to be Ishin. And then in few weeks now, checking the gamer browser. What do we have coming up? Well, we got
not the gamer browser.
Yeah, the gamer browser.
We got Resident Evil 4. Not too long.
Resident Evil 4. I want to play Dead Space. I think around that time too.
I'm gonna start Dead Space very soon here, if not tomorrow. I want to play Dead Space before 4 comes out. Oh, for sure.
I was like, Company of Heroes kind of got middling reviews, so I was like, I don't even have to check that out.
Get middling, yeah.
I'm like,
they kind of happen.
I guess the other thing I was playing was Kerbal Space Program 2, and it was I'm enjoying it, even though I know a lot of people have a lot of issues with its bugginess. But it is early.
It's such a
yeah.
Sorry, Jeff.
I was gonna say it's early access, but it's $50, so I don't blame people for being like, "Give me my money back." Get your money back. If you're unhappy with it, that's an option available to you, and you should use that option because it's early access. So do that.
It's a game that's so easy to just say, "Well, wait."
Yes,
wait
exactly.
For it to get fixed. Wait to see if it gets better.
But I'm enjoying myself with that, and that's another game that could take up all my time if I let it. So yeah.
Last week you were I'm going to play Destiny 2. Have you been deterred from that since?
I mean, the reaction to it, yes, that was, of course, yes. I mean, I would want a Sherpa, and I don't want the Sherpa to be the crazy person Christian telling me the story and how they're and then tell me their opinions on the story. Fucking shoot me, no way. I don't want to hear your opinions on Destiny 2 story. So it seems like a cool game because of the shooting's real good.
The shooting has always been the highlight of Destiny 2, yeah.
Right. I'm probably in a zone where it's like, okay, this one is going to miss me. Let's see if they do something next time around to just be like, here, let's get the newbies right into the shooting and go from there.
They need some kind of better. They need something that feels like more of a. I don't know. It's so hard because I know there's so many people like me, like you, who are kind of waiting for something more like a reboot, and it's probably the opposite of what the people who are actually playing Destiny 2 want. So I don't know. I don't know what you do.
Yeah, I think they find a way to fake a Destiny 3 here in the next couple of years, where it's not actually going to be Destiny 3, but they present it in such a way that it feels like, okay, basically this is Destiny 3. And at that point, I'll check back in, I think. I mean, I say at any point at Giant Bomb, we might be like, let's do a Destiny stream. And then who knows, maybe I'll get into it and we'll try to, do a raid or something. Like that would be fun. But it's like that would take a lot of coordination and all that stuff.
But a lot of time.
But barring that, I'm probably gonna keep missing it. It's a game that I definitely like the sound of, but no thanks. And this like in the Kerbal Space Program, Ishin, Fire Emblem Engage, a lot of games that take up a lot of time.
For sure. Were there any games that are just like this is a game with raids, but you actually just start the game, you start doing raids. You don't have to do the whole thing where you have to level your character up to the max level for 100 hours.
Right. Shouldn't there be that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, is that raids are so complex that there has to be so much onboarding before that, I suppose. I don't know.
My real name is DJ. Says, aren't you playing a lot of Dead Cells again? That was Dan, but he got me a code too, so I'm going to be playing.
It's for that Castlevania thing? Did that happen?
Yes, yeah. So, I want to play a lot of that too, but I haven't had a chance really to touch that. So, yeah, a lot of the stuff that I'm like keeping on the side, stuff that I'm not letting go into the backlog. But some of those things are going to begin happening soon, especially as we get to Advance Wars 1+2, and of course Dead Island 2, the game everyone won't stop talking about.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, that does it for me, Mike. Anything else you've been playing?
I'm trying. I don't know. I think that's basically it. I mean, I keep playing Theater Rhythm. I have to start playing Minish Cap soon at our Game Club.
Yeah, that's another thing that's taking my gaming time right now. I'm past 2 dungeons in there and really enjoying myself. I'm getting in the flow of that game. So yeah, another good one.
Yes, I gotta do that. And then I'll be playing Metroid Fusion very soon. I'll absolutely just play through that again once that is out. So, yep, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, I think we should wrap this show up. Does that sound good?
Let's do that. I still need to. I'm still coming down from something of a rage-gasm.
Yeah, I think we should check in one more time to see what the internet has to say.
I think we should actually not do that.
I think we could just check in after now that we got 1,628 votes, with 55.7% of those votes. Console A is winning. Console A has Final Fantasy VII, Super Mario 64. It's the Ultra Grubby 64. I mean, are you going to recover from this?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I don't know. Even when I was even reading the chat the whole time, like, wow, Mike's destroying. Wow, Mike's the dominating. I was like, yeah, I am feeling pretty good, chat. And I just lose anyway, so I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what I could. We have at least one more of these we could do pretty easily with the GameCube, Xbox, Dreamcast, PS2 era.
We will keep doing versions of this a lot, and it might be
maybe.
No, yeah, I mean, they might have like different sort of structures instead of. Yeah, I mean, it might be like, hey, let's just pick from just Nintendo games
just
or
JRPGs.
Right, yes,
RPGs,
or yeah, might not always just be games. Even it could be like developers, stuff like that.
Sure,
pick your team of developers.
Fun, yeah.
Which publisher is going to win? All right, Mikey, where on the internet can people find you?
Twitter, Twitch, Tokoto. 90s Disney has a new episode out about Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin, a ride in Disneyland. So go to 90sdisney.com to check that out. I think I'm voicemail dump trucking with you tomorrow. Is that true?
We'll see. Yeah, the schedule might not work out.
Schedule's been a little funky.
Yeah, we got some people out on assignment, and Dan hurt his necky poo. Tomorrow's kind of it's not like jam packed, but the time that I'm off, not everyone else is off, and we'll see if we're able to get enough people together. We might miss dump truck this week. We're gonna try though. We'll see. And if we do, you'll be there. That'll be fun. And then we'll have a UPF and all that stuff tomorrow, which we are shifting the GameCube one again because we have some other stuff we wanted to catch up on. I'm on John Bomb. Check that out, everybody, and twitch.tv/JeffGrubb. Till next time, goodbye. Ultra Grubby 64 at Toys R Us is right now. Go get it. It's got all your favorites.
Go to hell.
The other one has Einhander for your dad.
You love Einhander.
Enjoy your Mondo.